Before we get to be talking basketball, just wanted to give our thoughts and our prayers to all the victims of the storm. I know that Auburn and its leadership, both in athletics and the university, are working diligently right now to form some action plans to be able to respond not only short term but long term to help our community rebuild and to heal. The devastation is real. I live up on the side of town, probably closest to the area, right off of Morse Mill Road and Lee Road and up in that area. So kind of obviously hits home. So, but there'll be many more details coming out of Auburn about our response and our ability to assist. The going up to Tuscaloosa, right now where we are, I've never been in a league in the last week where you could move 5 spots in a couple of games. I think it just speaks to how competitive the league is, how balanced it is, and how difficult it is. So we really pleased with last week's results. Going Alabama, they've got great size, great length. They lead the league in 3-point field goal percentage defense, and we lead the league as one of the better 3-point shooting teams, in the league and in the country. And they do it because they do a lot of switching. They put people on the perimeter with great length. They got a lot of equal parts. They're one of the deepest teams in the league, playing 9 or 10 guys. At times they've been good enough to beat anybody on their schedule by evidence of the fact that they have a win over Kentucky. They've got 9 quadrant 1-2 wins, so they're obviously a very talented, very deep team. But the good thing about the position that we're in right now is the quality of every single one of the opponents that we're playing the rest of the way. And I think I probably said that a week or two ago. Are all really good teams that will have to play well to beat. We played really well at home against Alabama, shot it really well, and played really hard defensively, turned them over. So it'll take another great effort to get them again.
You obviously mentioned, I think after the Georgia game, you're going to talk to your bracketologist. So you're obviously keeping pretty close tabs on kind of where you guys stand after that game on Saturday. Where do you feel like you are right now? Do you feel like you got?
We keep really close tabs on where we are, and interesting thing, we keep the players informed of where we are. I want them to know. I think at one time I made a reference to the ranking. I don't pay any attention to the ranking. I do pay attention to the net. I do pay attention to the tools that the NCAA selection committee uses to determine who's in the tournament and how the tournament's seeding. So I wanted to just be clear on that, because I at one point maybe gave you guys the impression about where we were ranked. That's a moving target. Now where we are in the net, that matters. Where our opponents are matters. And I do keep our players informed of it. So every time you get a win over a quadrant 1 or 2 team, it just enhances your tournament resume, puts you that much closer to being able to play for a national championship. And like I've said many times, when you get in the tournament, you're playing for a national championship. People think you got to get to the Final Four and get to the last game to play for the championship, and I disagree with that. There are 68 teams playing for a championship. After the first round, it cuts down pretty quickly. So it's special to get in. And obviously at Auburn, we've not been back-to-back very often. That would be something that we would like to try to do. But if we don't keep getting better and improving and becoming more efficient, it'll be hard to win another game. That's how good the teams are we're playing against, and that's our goal, is to keep trying to play better. And I think we did that last week. I think he's doubtful again for Tuesday. But I think as time goes on, I think he's getting closer. But I can't say even today for sure. I'll know more later today after practice.
So it's possible you shut him down until the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think that first of all, that's the doctors and the trainers' decisions. I do know that when he re-aggravated the lower leg in the Kentucky game, the decision was made to begin to go back and let it rest and get some of the inflammation out and do more of a rehab, even though everything was still intact and solid and I think he does feel better as a result of that. The balance is going to be, he's been on such limited minutes, since his return, that his effectiveness is marginalized because he's not in the kind of shape and is able to play as well. So his health will dictate when he's back completely. That'll be the determining factor.
Yeah, probably discuss exactly what the issue is, or what is the issue.
Just I think, because although I do stay at Holiday Expresses last night, I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to leave it to the lower leg, and then keep you updated as far as his progress is concerned. But I will tell you that he did not re-injure it against Kentucky, which is good, but he aggravated the area and of where his injury was. No, it was a lower leg injury.
What do you guys need to do to go on the road and beat
We got rebounded by 20 by Mississippi State. You're not going to win many games when you get, one offensive rebound. And, we also played really well in the first half. We only turned it over a couple times and played not as well in the second half where we turned it over 8 times. So not turn it over, rebound the ball, don't get physically overwhelmed, handle the environment, and obviously the game means a lot to us because it's a great rivalry, and most of the kids that play in that game, played against each other, locally, either in Georgia or Alabama, AAU ball, and know each other, and there's bragging rights at stake, as well as the position that we want to try to put ourselves in.
How much does a minus 20 rebound advantage concern you going forward?
Well, I mean, a minus 20 rebounding advantage concerns me. We're now the second worst team in the league as far as rebound margin. 11 out of 16 opponents have gone to the line more than we have in our 16 conference games, so we don't get it inside enough. We foul too much, and we got to improve that. We got to defend without fouling, and we've got to find a way to get to the line more. We lost the LSU game because it's 29 second chance points, and at LSU that'd have been a great win for us. And LSU's a team that's capable of getting to the Final Four. They're that talented, they're that well coached. So, but for second chance points and a huge rebound margin, we should have won the game.
Bruce, last year you started off with the whole 4-14 thing. Has this been a learning experience for your players going through this season? Dealing with the opposite of that, dealing with everybody telling you how good you are going in and your championship contender and all this stuff.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is some people may have been telling us how good we were, or maybe some of the work that we had done early in the preseason allowed us to have a ranking, and so therefore expectations were what they were. We know who we are. Chumokiki was our 6th man last year, right? He could be one of our very best players this year. So it's not about, nobody in our camp right now is surprised, both because of the quality of the league and the abilities of our own team. Now the question is, can we peak? What does that look like? When we defend and hold teams under 45% field goal percentage, which is a reasonable expectation, we're I think 16-3 now. That's pretty strong to hold your hat on. So if we can guard We obviously are pretty reliant on the three ball. So we go down to Alabama. They hold teams to 30% shooting from three because of their length. We got to go down there and make shots. The whole learning process about expectations, I don't think has anything to do with the outcome of it. I just don't. I don't. That's fans and stuff like that. I mean, we left a couple on the table. There's no question. We but we've also got 20 and are 20 3 or 4 in the net. So it was pretty good.
When it comes to keeping your team informed, like you said, of where you guys kind of stand, is that something you've always done? And what's kind of the advantage you kind of feel?
Well, I think you guys, I hope, would say even from our press conferences and our communication. I mean, there's certain things I'll stay away from and not comment about, but I won't mislead, and I'll be as honest as I possibly can. I want to be honest with the players. I've told them this is a must-win. Like, we can't have a bad loss on the resume. We went to Georgia, and I knew we were playing a really good Georgia team that went down to beat Florida on Saturday. When I say they're a really good team, they beat Texas at home. They've got depth and talent and size. They lost on a last possession Bulldog, throw on the court to Mississippi State. They won a last possession game to LSU the game before. But we can't go there and lose to a 111 net team on the road. I mean, that's going to all of a sudden change our resume. I'd rather have them know that before the game starts, than after the game saying, God, Coach, I wish you'd have told us that if we'd lost that one, that could knock us out of the tournament. So we just, and at the same time, we know what the possibilities here are for this week. So, two really tough teams to beat, both Alabama and Alabama. The math obviously speaks for itself. We're 3-15 the last 18 times we've been there. Tennessee is a Final Four national championship type team, and that's what we got this week. We have to play our best basketball to beat those two teams, and what does that look like? It looks like dealing with Alabama's size and switching. It deals with dealing with Tennessee's physicality, and it deals with us, defending and rebounding. We do those things, and we give ourselves a chance.
You talk about peaking over your years of coaching as either a head coach or assistant coach. Can you remember a team that is in a somewhat similar situation you're in right now, where you peaked and punished? There's something you could point to.
I mean, I've had teams that obviously made great runs in the tournament and peaked at the end, and I've had teams that didn't. So I mean, but I don't think necessarily my teams of the past and the history, of even from all my days of being a head coach, will really affect this team. I think for me, the focus will be on the process. Okay, what do we need to do to peak? What does that look like? It looks like 9 guys, I think, that are out there making plays offensively and defensively and being really productive with their minutes, and understand that they're going to be challenged personnel-wise every night. I mean, every night they're going to be challenged one-on-one. And so therefore we've got to play as a team 5-on-5 in order to be successful one-on-one. And again, we've managed to do that a lot. And we'll have to continue to do that even more and better as we face these last couple games.
I would guess, I know the answer already, but have you ever coached a team that has averaged so many 3-pointers, in the game? I mean, you guys are challenging SEC records,
Yeah.
awesome program records and everything.
You know what? We're pretty reliant on it. I mean, we are, especially without Austin. I mean, we are pretty reliant on it. But so are the Golden State Warriors, and so are the Houston Rockets, and so are some other pretty good basketball teams. I mean, I look back at the Mississippi State game, and we turned it over and opened the door to have a really disappointing defeat. But we made some big shots, and it wasn't just Bryce. I mean, D'Angelo made one big in the corner. Samir made a big shot. I'm just talking in the second half. I mean, we made some shots, and that's kind of who we are. So no, I don't think I've ever, even last year, we were less reliant.
How was Malik doing after playing on Saturday?
I think from an injury standpoint, I think he's doing fine. And you know, he had a tough cover with Witherspoon. Even though Witherspoon got a good number, I thought our guys overall did a really good job. We were engaged. I thought Bryce had a great game. You know, Peters destroyed us down there at Mississippi State, and Bryce was really, really locked in both on offensively, defensively. Shot with great efficiency. Didn't turn it over. That was a hard win, guys. I mean, that was a really good win and a hard win. And and again, Anthony McLemore. Just listen to opposing coaches when they leave our matchup. And he's one guy that is really hard. Look, you know what you're going to get out of Bryce, and you could do something. It's hard to scheme against Anthony because he plays the 5 spot for us. Now the trade-off is I've got a 6'7", 220-pound 5-man, who by far, I mean by inches and dozens of pounds is the smallest center in the league. And so there's a trade-off there. But it's been really good. It was good to see Ant getting closer back to form.